Imagine waking up one morning and your phone has no connection. No Wi-Fi, no 5G, no social media notifications. You try your laptop. Nothing. Your smart TV. Offline. You rush outside, confused, only to find your neighbors, colleagues, and even emergency services are experiencing the same problem. The entire internet, every server, every network has gone silent. For 24 hours, the digital heartbeat of our civilization has flatlined. What if the internet stopped working worldwide for just one day? At first glance, it might not sound catastrophic. After all, the internet didn't exist a few decades ago and humanity got by just fine. But the modern world is woven together by invisible strands of connectivity. The internet is no longer just a tool for browsing cat videos or checking email. It underpins the global economy, transportation, communication, government, finance, energy systems, and even food supply chains. To understand the impact, we need to first grasp how deeply the internet is embedded in our daily lives. And then, imagine those threads being cut all at once. In the first few seconds, billions of devices attempt to connect but fail. Websites go offline. Apps crash. Smart devices lose their brains. Banks, airports, hospitals, schools, factories, none of them are immune. Social media feeds freeze. News stops flowing. Zoom meetings drop. GPS becomes unreliable. E-commerce vanishes. Online payments can't be processed. Stocks can't be traded. Planes can't coordinate routes. Hospitals lose access to cloud-based records. And this is just the beginning. For the average person, the day would start with confusion. Smartphones, which are used not just for communication but as alarm clocks, calendars, and navigation tools, suddenly lose purpose. People can't check their commute, order a ride, or even see the news. The psychological impact of that silence, of a world suddenly disconnected, would be enormous. In urban centers, chaos begins to ripple. Traffic lights in some cities are coordinated via internet-connected control systems. Without those systems, traffic grinds to a halt or becomes dangerously uncoordinated. Public transportation networks may lose real-time tracking, ticketing, or coordination tools. Subways and trains might delay service due to communication breakdowns. Financial systems face their own nightmare. The global banking system depends heavily on the internet. ATMs are connected to central banks. Credit card transactions are processed through online servers. Stock markets rely on real-time data flows and automatic trading algorithms. With no internet, trading halts. Banks can't validate transactions. People can't pay for groceries, fuel, or services. Small businesses lose their daily revenue. Online-only stores vanish instantly. Logistics and supply chains, which already operate on tight, just-in-time delivery schedules, would be paralyzed. Distribution centers use internet-based systems to track inventory, dispatch deliveries, and communicate with retailers. Trucks wouldn't know where to go. Ports wouldn't be able to coordinate loading and unloading. Supermarkets wouldn't receive fresh stock. Perishable goods might spoil due to system failures. The healthcare sector would be hit hard. Hospitals in developed nations rely on internet-based electronic health records. Appointments, prescriptions, imaging files, even some remote surgeries depend on digital connectivity. A sudden loss could delay treatments, disrupt medication schedules, and complicate emergency responses. Ambulances might have to rely on analog radio systems. Doctors may have to revert to handwritten charts and phone trees. In countries already strained by limited resources, the consequences could be deadly. On a governmental level, internal communication collapses. Many defense systems, intelligence networks, and civil coordination tools depend on secure internet infrastructure. While military networks are often designed with backup protocols, civilian agencies could face paralysis. Emergency broadcasts may take longer to reach the public. Coordination between cities, states, or nations could stall. Even weather data, shared globally via satellites and internet protocols, might be disrupted. Education halts. Virtual classrooms go dark. Students lose access to digital learning platforms. Teachers can't reach students. In universities and research labs, shared databases, communication tools, and cloud computing systems become inaccessible. Ongoing experiments that rely on internet-based sensors or control mechanisms may be compromised. At home, people turn on TVs and radios, hoping for updates. Traditional broadcasting may still work, if infrastructure is intact, but many stations rely on internet-based delivery systems. In rural areas especially, news may become impossible to access. Panic begins to grow. The media vacuum is filled with confusion and speculation. Rumors spread by word of mouth. Some people suspect a cyber attack. Others fear a government blackout. Conspiracy theories blossom. Without access to real-time fact-checking, many believe whatever they hear first. Misinformation thrives in the absence of connectivity. Now consider businesses, especially tech-based ones. Companies like Google, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and Netflix lose billions in advertising, sales, and subscriptions in a single day. Employees around the world are cut off from their remote work systems. Meetings are cancelled. Project timelines are pushed back. Customer service lines are jammed, with no fallback. Businesses that rely on software as a service platforms can't function. Entertainment disappears. No streaming music. No YouTube. No Netflix or TikTok or Twitch. Even gaming grinds to a halt. Most modern games require online validation. Players are locked out. For a generation raised on digital access, this feels like a blackout of identity. Some people grow anxious. Others restless. Mental health hotlines, many of which are online, are unreachable. Communication becomes difficult. With WhatsApp, iMessage, Telegram, and other platforms down, people fall back on SMS and phone calls. But networks become congested. International calls become impossible in some regions. Even landlines are affected in areas where they're routed through VoIP systems. In rural or developing areas, the impact is uneven. Some may be less affected due to limited internet reliance. Others, especially those depending on mobile internet for health, education, or work, are disproportionately harmed. Refugees, remote clinics, or farming cooperatives lose their only link to markets or aid. Airports and airlines are in crisis. Online booking is impossible. Check-in systems fail. Flight plans can't be coordinated. Pilots and control towers may revert to backup radio systems, but delays and cancellations ripple worldwide. Travelers are stranded. Schedules collapse. Now zoom out and look at the global economy. A 24-hour internet outage is estimated to cost the world over $50 billion in direct losses, according to studies. But the psychological cost is incalculable. Investors panic. Consumers lose trust. Businesses begin preparing for longer-term disruption. Insurance claims mount. Lawsuits emerge. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the internet returns. Websites flicker back to life. Phones light up with delayed notifications. Emails flood in. Stock exchanges reboot. Banking systems scramble to reconcile transactions. Hospitals rush to update records. Planes are rerouted. Businesses reconnect with clients. News agencies publish timelines and analyses. People post what just happened. Across every platform. The recovery is slow. Some systems don't bounce back instantly. Data may be corrupted. Schedules remain out of sync. Businesses have lost money and customers. Individuals have lost trust. Governments are forced to reevaluate digital resilience. Some countries begin investing heavily in offline protocols and redundant systems. Others draft emergency plans for future outages. The collective trauma doesn't fade easily. People question their dependency on digital infrastructure. Some return to analog habits, keeping physical calendars, writing down contacts, buying radios. Others feel grateful for the reconnection. But everyone agrees, the world was not prepared. This thought experiment reveals just how fragile modern civilization is. A single layer of connectivity, thin, invisible, and global, holds together finance, healthcare, transportation, communication, and even culture. It's not just about access to information. It's about function, identity, and survival. Could it really happen? Technically, yes. A major cyber attack on global DNS servers, a massive solar flare like the 1859 Carrington event, or a coordinated software failure could cause temporary global disruption. Governments and companies are aware of this risk and invest in backups, but nothing is foolproof. And that leads us to a deeper question: should we be building a world so dependent on a single thread? The answer isn't to fear technology, but to understand it better. To build resilient systems. To educate people on analog alternatives. To ensure that in a world racing toward digital everything, we don't forget how to survive when the lights go out. Because the day the internet dies, even for just 24 hours, might be the day we realize how much of ourselves we've woven into the web. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a world without the internet, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to One Fact a Day. See you in the next video.